You have now completed the full arc of this course. You understand the engineering mindset. You can build zero-shot prompts from scratch, apply the roses and reason frameworks, control output format, engineer personas, build modular systems, and design a signature framework that reflects your specific workflow. That is a substantial toolkit, but here is something most people do not talk about. Even experienced prompt engineers inherit bad prompts. They copy a prompt from a colleague, borrow one from a template library, or find one buried in a workflow that nobody has updated in months. The prompt kind of works. The output is okay, and because it is okay, nobody questions it. This bonus video is about changing that habit, because a prompt that is merely okay is costing you something: time, quality, or both, every single time it runs. And the skill of diagnosing why a prompt underperforms and knowing precisely how to fix it is what separates engineers who build great systems once from those who keep improving them indefinitely. In this video, you are going to learn the prompt audit, a structured method for evaluating any prompt, identifying its failure points, and rebuilding it to perform at the highest level. We will work through the 5 audit dimensions, apply them to a real-world example, and give you a repeatable process you can use on any prompt in your library. Let's get into it. Why prompts degrade? Before we look at how to audit a prompt, it helps to understand why prompts fail in the first place. There are 5 patterns that account for the vast majority of underperforming prompts. The first is role ambiguity. The prompt either has no role defined, or the role is so generic that it gives the AI almost no useful information about how to think. Be a helpful assistant tells the AI nothing about what kind of expertise to activate. The second is context starvation. The AI does not have enough background information to make intelligent decisions. It is working in a vacuum, so it fills the gaps with assumptions, and those assumptions are almost never exactly right. The third is task drift. The task is loosely defined, which means the AI has latitude to interpret it in multiple ways. Sometimes those interpretations are useful, more often they are not. The fourth is format ambiguity. With no structure defined, the AI decides for itself. This is fine occasionally, but when you need a consistent output type, a report, a list, a table, a script, undefined format creates unpredictable results. The fifth is parameter creep. This happens to prompts that have been revised multiple times without a clean rebuild. They accumulate contradictory instructions, redundant constraints, and outdated parameters that pull the AI in different directions at once. Each of these has a specific fix. That is what the prompt audit is designed to deliver. The 5 audit dimensions. The prompt audit evaluates any prompt across 5 dimensions. Together they form the acronym AUDIT. The audit framework. A. Ambiguity check. U. Usefulness of role. D. Depth of context. I. Instruction clarity. T. Tightness of parameters. Let us go through each one. A. Ambiguity check. Read your prompt and ask, where could this be interpreted in more than one way? Ambiguity is the single most common cause of inconsistent output. Any word or phrase that could mean different things to different people is a weak point. Replace it with something specific. Write a short article contains at least 3 ambiguities: what counts as short, what type of article, and for what audience. Write a 600-word explainer article for first-time investors, removes all 3. Usefulness of role. Does the role in your prompt actually do useful work? A role earns its place when it shapes the AI's thinking, not just its label. Test this by asking, if I removed the role entirely, would the output change significantly? If the answer is no, the role is decorative. Replace it with a role that defines a specific expertise, a reasoning style, or a professional perspective that actively narrows how the AI approaches the task. Depth of context. Does the prompt give the AI the background it needs to make good decisions? Context includes the audience, the situation, the goals, and any constraints that exist outside the immediate task. A useful test is the blank slate question. If you handed this prompt to a brilliant but completely uninformed expert, would they have everything they need to produce exactly what you want? If not, the context needs work. Instruction clarity. Is the core task stated with precision and a strong action verb? Vague instructions like help me with or tell me about leave the scope entirely open. Precise instructions like compare, analyze, rewrite, generate, or evaluate define what needs to happen and in what direction. Check also for instruction conflicts, places where two requirements pull against each other. These are easy to miss in prompts that have been revised multiple times. T. Tightness of parameters. Are your parameters actually doing their job? Parameters should constrain the output in useful ways. Word count, tone, format, things to include or avoid, specific terminology. Audit them for three problems. First, redundancy. Two parameters that say the same thing waste space and can create confusion. Second, contradiction. Parameters that conflict with each other force the AI to choose, and it will not always choose the way you intended. Third, absence. Are there constraints you have been applying manually in post-editing that you could simply build into the prompt? If you keep making the same correction to every output, it belongs in the parameters. Applying the audit, a real example. Let us take a weak prompt and run it through all 5 audit dimensions. Here is the original prompt. Write a blog post about productivity for my audience. Keep it engaging and not too long. Make sure it is useful. Now let us audit it. Ambiguity check. Not too long is subjective. Engaging is undefined. And useful means nothing without knowing what the audience needs. 3 ambiguities in 1 sentence. Usefulness of role. There is no role at all. The AI has no persona, no expertise to activate, no lens through which to interpret the task. Depth of context. We know there is an audience, but we know nothing about them. What is their experience level? What kind of work do they do? What productivity challenges do they actually face? Instruction clarity. Write a blog post is adequate as an action, but the scope is entirely open. There is no angle, no specific argument, no structural guidance. Tightness of parameters. Word count is absent. Tone is absent. Format is absent. The only parameter is engaging and useful, which is aspirational rather than instructional. Now here is the audited version. You are a productivity consultant and business writer who specializes in helping knowledge workers reduce cognitive overload and build sustainable work habits. Write a 750-word blog post for an audience of mid-career professionals who feel overwhelmed by their task lists and struggle to finish what they start. The post should open with a relatable scenario, present one specific, counterintuitive insight about why most productivity systems fail, and close with 3 immediately actionable steps. Use a direct, warm tone with no jargon. Format the post with a title, a short hook paragraph, 3 clearly labeled sections, and a brief closing call to action. Same starting intention, completely different engineering. Every dimension of the audit framework has been addressed. No ambiguities remain. The role does specific work. The context defines the audience precisely. The instruction has a clear angle and scope, and the parameters cover tone, format, word count, structure, and constraints. The difference in output quality will be dramatic. And this is a prompt that took less than 3 minutes to rebuild. Your prompt audit practice. Here is how you put this to work immediately. Go to your most frequently used prompt, the one you run more often than any other. It might be a template for emails, a summarization prompt, a research query, or a content creation brief. Whatever it is, run it through the 5 audit dimensions now. Ask yourself, where is the ambiguity? Is the role doing real work? Does the AI have sufficient context? Is the task instruction clear and specific? Are the parameters complete, consistent, and free of contradiction? Make notes as you go. Then rebuild the prompt from scratch using everything you have identified. Do not patch the original, write a clean version that incorporates all the improvements at once. Run both versions and compare. The results will show you not just the value of the audit, but exactly which dimension was causing the most friction in your original prompt. That insight will make every prompt you write after this one stronger. The ongoing audit habit. One final thought that goes beyond the mechanics. The prompt audit is not a one-time exercise. The best prompt engineers treat their prompt library the way a good software team treats its code base, something to be reviewed, tested, and improved on a regular schedule, not left to accumulate debt. Set a recurring reminder once a month, pick 3 prompts from your library and run them through audit. You will be surprised how often a prompt that seemed perfectly fine reveals a fixable weakness when you look at it with fresh eyes. This practice compounds. Each audit makes not just that specific prompt better, but your overall ability to see weakness in prompts before they cause problems. Over time, you stop writing prompts that need auditing at all, because the audit thinking becomes part of how you write prompts in the first place. That is the ultimate goal of this entire course. Not a collection of techniques you apply mechanically, but a way of thinking that is always running in the background. Awareness before you type, precision in what you ask, systems that improve rather than stagnate. You have built that foundation. The prompt audit is the tool that keeps it sharp, bringing it together. In this bonus video, you have learned the 5 reasons prompts fail: role ambiguity, context starvation, task drift, format ambiguity, and parameter creep. You have the audit framework, 5 dimensions for evaluating any prompt systematically. You have seen a complete audit applied to a real-world example with a rebuilt prompt that addresses every weakness. And you have a practice method and an ongoing habit to keep your entire prompt library performing at its best. This is how great systems stay great. Not by building them once and hoping they hold, but by reviewing them, testing them, and improving them with the same rigor that went into building them in the first place. Thank you for completing advanced AI prompt engineering. The edge you have built here is real, and it grows every time you use it.